Good evening. There is an especially uneasy feeling tonight about what may have brought down an Egyptian airliner over the Mediterranean early today. The Airbus with 66 people on board vanished from radar overnight on a flight from Paris to Cairo. There was no distress call. In Cairo, anxious families waited for hopeful news that never came. At sunup, an armada of planes and ships will resume searching for signs of victims and wreckage near where American intelligence officials tell NBC News there were indications of an explosion. Tonight, Egyptian authorities are suggesting it might have been an act of terror. If true, it leads to the frightful possibility an explosive device somehow went undetected through one of Europe's busiest air hubs. We have full coverage and analysis, starting with NBC's Tom Costello.
In the Mediterranean, ships and planes searching for debris from EgyptAir 804 after it disappeared from radar in the dead of night. NBC News has learned from intelligence officials that data suggests some sort of explosion on board the plane.
The possibility of having a different action or having a terror attack is higher than the possibility of having a technical.
The Airbus A320 left Paris Charles de Gaulle just after 11 p.m. local time for a 4-hour trip to Cairo. On board, 56 passengers, including 3 children, a crew of 7, and 3 security agents. The plane was traveling at 519 miles per hour at cruise altitude, 37,000 feet, when something went terribly wrong. The Greek government says military radar detected the plane making an abrupt 90-degree turn to the left, then flying in a circle, dropping to 15,000 feet. Final radar contact lost at 10,000 feet just inside Egyptian airspace. The A320 is a workhorse for airlines worldwide. With more than 6,600 in service, one takes off every 2.5 seconds. This plane was considered young, just 13 years old with 48,000 flight hours. The crew was experienced, 9,000 hours of flight time between them. But could the plane have suffered a mechanical failure and structural breakup in flight?
Modern jet airliners are very well designed, and it would be very, very unusual to have a structural failure resulting in an in-flight breakup.
A leading theory, an explosive planted on board either by a passenger or someone on the ground brought down the plane.
They're going to be looking at residue, they're going to be looking at shrapnel, they're going to be looking for those things that could indicate whether or not there was some sort of explosion aboard the aircraft that compromised the structure.
Tonight, U.S. and French intelligence are comparing names on the passenger manifest against known terrorist watch lists and interviewing ground staff who had access to the plane. The plane's black boxes may hold the key to what happened, conversations between the flight crew and any alarms or sounds of explosions. The flight data recorder should contain thousands of pieces of data on the plane's mechanical performance. Meanwhile, in Paris, the distraught families have gathered, hoping for answers. British citizen Richard Osman was on board, his brother Alistair.
I never would have expected this to happen. I never would expect to wake up to this.
So far, no credible claim of responsibility. No wreckage has been found thus far. U.S. intelligence sources say an initial check of the passenger manifest found no one on the U.S. terror watch list. Lester?
All right, Tom Costello.